Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the ATMA podcast. My name is Brian, and I'll be giving you some tips, tools, and strategies you need to grow your business today. Today, we're going to be talking about building customer value with yours truly, Brian Acosta. I'm with the VP of Trinity Marketing Agency, and I have a special guest. He looks a little bit different than Christian, but he's an awesome guy. I want to introduce you guys to Rolando Solis. He's our new podcast tech. Say hello, Rolando.
Hey, what's up, guys? Super happy to be here.
Awesome. So we're going to talk about some cool stuff today. We're going to talk about building customer value, why that's important in business, and why that's important in marketing. But we want to say thank you to our sponsors first. Let's go ahead and say thank you to Nuvodesk Coworking. Nuvodesk Coworking is the one who have provided us this podcast room. So they provide collaborative areas for entrepreneurs and business owners with conference rooms, office spaces, shared desk, dedicated desk, anything that could be affordable for you to office from. But they also provided us this amazing, beautiful podcast room. So if you're interested, visit nuvodesk.com to get more information. And our second sponsor is Southwest Restaurant Equipment. Southwest Restaurant Equipment provides restaurant owners restaurant equipment for a very reasonable rate. They have financial options for restaurant owners. You can actually finance some of your equipment. So if you're interested in getting some equipment for your restaurant, visit swrequipment.com. Now, let's get into our show. Rolando, we're going to be talking about building customer value. Are you excited about that?
Yeah, dude.
That sounds super exciting.
Yeah, I am 10 out of 10 excited.
So let's talk about building customer value and what that really means. So in business, everybody talks about business. When you're starting a business, what do you think the first thing a business owner thinks about?
That is a very good question. I would think maybe something on the financial side.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so you're right. You're right on a dot, actually, because most of the business owners, when they think of their business and what their first. Okay, so let me tell you. Let me tell you the business owner journey, because this is wholeheartedly the truth. First, the business owner does two things. Okay, the business owner wasn't a business owner before, so he was some sort of employee or working somewhere, and he decides, you know what, I want to work on my own. I want to be my own boss. And this happens 97, 98% of the time, right? And they're like, I have this great idea. I'm going to be my own boss, and I'm going to jump right into business, okay? So, they do their research, and I'm talking about experience here, okay? So I was the business owner, okay? So, they do their research. They do their marketing plan. They do their logo. They get excited. They build their own site, and they start going. They start going into business. And once they start going into business, right around 2-3 months, okay? So 2-3 months, they probably have some sort of cash reserve that they put together so that they can start this business and make sure that the first 90 days, they have a cash reserve. Okay, great. So they get into the 90 days, they get their first customer, and Lord behold, they forget that it takes time to sell their product and service. It takes time. Doesn't happen overnight, right? So they have no cash reserve. So all they're worried about is sale. That's the honest truth. They don't care. The sense of anxiety and risk that the business owner goes through, the first thing they do is say, I need to sell whatever I can sell. Am I right or wrong?
You are definitely right.
Now, you were a marketing agency, but you were part of a marketing agency before this, right?
Yeah, correct. For a couple years, just doing some freelance stuff.
Okay. And before you started working for Trinity, you told me a little bit about your kind of experience in marketing and that you were kind of helping, your friend out and helping him build his agency, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So tell me how that experience went when you first started.
Well, since I had zero experience, first thing I did was just do a crash course on marketing, just like online, just learning about Google Ads. And well, the thing with him is he was like a small business owner, so like his budget was literally like $200 to $300 a month. Which, I mean, as a guy with like not that much of experience, I was like, okay, let's see what I can do with this on Google Ads.
Yeah, that's pretty rough, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a rough couple of months trying to help him out.
We talked about this in our last podcast is the lack of cash flow.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So the lack of of having resources is also another reason why businesses fail. Here's the deal: when it comes to business, a lot of people are like, "Hey, I need the money to go ahead and do this." If you don't have the money, you have a high risk of failure, and it's because you have to have the resources for not just the employees, but for marketing. You have to make sure that you have you have that resources, the financial resources, more definitely, before you start a business. If I were to go back in time, I would definitely make sure I had a budget for everything that I was doing. I kind of just jumped in and I'm a risk taker. I'm a risk taker. Not the best advice I can give somebody is just go straight in, but for some reason we were able to make it happen, and it's because of one of the reasons why we were able to make it happen was because of this building customer values, which we're going to talk about today. It's so important. It's so important. We all fall into the trap of sell, and then we don't have people in place, or we forget that the customer is the number one priority. I have an employee. I was like, we need to make money, and I said, well, first you need to take care of the customer. I said, the customer is number one. So what are the stages of how this works and kind of like what makes sense is I call it the 5 stages of of a happy customer journey. Okay, if you master this kind of process or stages in your business, you're going to be fine. You're going to be okay because it only makes sense. All right. So there's 5 simple steps. Okay. 5 simple steps that after studying marketing and studying business that Brian thinks that are the most important 5 factors of making sure that cash flow is coming back in. And that's number 1 is you have to attract the customer, right? So you attract a customer, you're doing ads, you're doing something funny, you're attracting them and saying, hey, these guys are pretty cool cats, or this is a cool product or cool service. Let me go ahead and visit their site. So they click on your website, they go to your social media pages, they learn about your business, they learn about your customers, they're engaging. That's what we call engagement, okay? And then when they engage, finally they reach out to you, right? They reach out to you saying, hey, I'm interested in your product or service, and then they convert. Well, most business owners, when they convert, that's where they stop, and that's the problem, okay? The problem is the conversion. When they convert into business, you need to do your darn hardest to make the customer delighted. You have to delight them. You got to get them excited about their business. You got to get them excited about doing business with your business, your product or service. And then they're going to promote your business. Okay? So they're going to promote your business. Now, many of you probably already know that we're HubSpot partners. Rolando, you know we're HubSpot partners, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the flywheel?
I actually haven't. What is it?
Okay, so the flywheel is so everybody knows about the marketing funnels, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so marketing funnels, everybody's like, okay, we're gonna get XYZ people to be interested in our business, then they're gonna engage, and then they're gonna convert. That flywheel, that funnel. So what HubSpot says is why are we stopping at the conversion? And it's true. Yeah. It's absolutely true. So what they showcased is the flywheel. They're changing up the concept of a funnel and saying, stop thinking of your business as a funnel, think of it as a flywheel. So what they preach is attract, engage, delight. Okay, attract, engage, delight. Attract meaning you're attracting the customers, you're engaging with them, they become customers, and then they delight them, and then the cycle goes over and over, right? Well, I looked into the flywheel, and I like the concept, but I feel like it needs a little bit more sass, some more jazz to it, right? Some more sass. Sass.
Some more sauce.
Some more sass. So what I think is if we were to combine Brian's 5 stages with this flywheel, it would make sense, okay? So now let me grab this concept that I'm trying to preach about here. If we convert this flywheel, and everybody knows a flywheel, right? A flywheel is just like it's a wheel. You ever play the fortune wheels and you roll them?
Oh, the Wheel of Fortune type of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
So you roll that, but now there's no pin. So it just keeps going and going and going and going. It doesn't stop. So that's what a flywheel is. Okay? The cycle continues. You got to make sure that the wheel keeps on flying. All right? So in HubSpot, it's attract, engage, delight. All right? What I think it needs to be is attract, engage, convert, delight, promote.
Okay.
All right? So attract, engage, convert, delight, promote. So let's go to each individual stage. If you do this correctly, in which, Advent Trinity has been pretty much successful at doing this, is why we've grown our company from 2 people to 12 people. Okay, it's a big growth. And then, so we're continuing to do that. And from what my research and other companies that are successful, they've mastered this. You talk about Jeff Bezos. Have you ever heard of Jeff Bezos?
Actually, I have no idea who that is.
Oh my goodness!
I'm kidding.
Okay, I'm about to say, bro. I mean, I don't know if you can stay part of this company anymore. So Jeff Bezos, have you ever heard of his interviews? Have you ever heard his interviews?
No, I've never listened to a single interview.
You're killing me.
Oh man.
Okay, you got to. You have to. Here's what I would advise you to do, and everybody that's on this podcast and listening to this podcast. I want you to go listen to how Jeff Bezos became successful. It's on YouTube. Go to YouTube and listen to like the top. I think there's videos of the top 10 things he talks about how he became a billionaire. And one of the things he said is, he makes a lot of decisions, but if it doesn't make sense for the customer, he doesn't do it. And that hit hard, right? So when he was starting his business, he had no idea that he was going to be such a successful billionaire with his company. All he worried about was, how do we make the customer happier? That's his biggest thing. He talks about, what can I do make different that the customer, it makes it easier and more reliable for the customer to purchase more. I mean, at the end of the day, it's how do we make it more customer friendly. And we talk about that in web design too, like user friendly. It's the same concept, but in business overall, you have to think, if you're thinking about your websites like user friendly, does it make sense for the user? Is it easy to flow? Does this button make sense where it's at? Same thing when it comes to business. Does our processes, do our strategies, do they all make sense for our customer? Well, Jeff Bezos preached this, and look where he is today, right? And you look at all the successful business, multi-billionaire businesses, so to speak, right? The ones that think about their users, the ones that think about the people first, those are the ones that make it out in the end, okay? When they lose track of the customers is when they start to fail. So if we were to go back to the cycle that we're talking about, this flywheel, attract, engage, convert, delight, promote. And if you're taking notes, I mean, if you're just listening to this in your car or something, but if you're listening to this while you're working, I would actually write this down as a business owner, is attract. Let's go into these steps. What are we doing for people to be attracted to Advent Trinity, Rolando? What do you think we're doing right now?
I think something that I've seen is like when someone fills out a form, like the one thing we do is we hit them back like ASAP, like we make sure we can get back to them like as soon as we can.
But what the part of that is actually the engagement.
Ah, okay.
The attraction is, I have a great example of this. This is yesterday, I was on the phone. I was on the phone with a prospect, and this is what I always love to hear. I always love hearing this. This is great. So I get on the phone with the prospect, and he's like, I don't even know how I came across you guys. I think some sort of event that you guys were posting or doing, and then, you guys just kept on popping up on my social media, and I just don't even remember. Man, I brainwashed that prospect, just so you know. And I said, hey, man, if I did it to you, I can do it to your clients, right? And that's the power of marketing. You brainwashed them to go, I don't even remember how I heard about you, but I know that I need to do business with you, right? And so he engaged with us. He filled out a form and checked out his we have tools and resources on our page. That's exactly how we get people to engage. We provide free stuff. It's crazy. Free stuff. Nope. This podcast is free. There's a webinar on October 20th that's free. There's on our website. There's free resources where you can check to see if you're listed on the internet. We provide a full-on diagnostics of your business to see how your website and your search engine optimization and social media, absolutely free, no cost to you. Believe it or not, it costs us money, but it costs you no money, right? It's crazy, but that's how people are engaged. So attracting. If you think about, okay, how am I going to attract customers? You got to think about your advertising. You got to think about your marketing. You got to think about how are people hearing about me? How can I brainwash them? Again, that's just, I mean, I hate to say it's the truth. Rolando's laughing over there.
I mean, I feel like there's another word you can use for brainwashing, but the thing is, brainwashing is like the correct word to use in this scenario, you know?
He's like, brainwashing. Yes, I'm brainwashing you.
I mean, hey, like everyone does it, so.
It's not a manipulation tactic, is it? Or is it not?
It depends on the time and day.
Yeah, right. It kind of depends. But, you know, that's kind of what we're doing. We're planting the seeds. It's kind of a better verbiage to say. We're planting the seeds, okay? So we're nourishing the relationship. I'm sorry. I listen to a lot of marketing podcasts and stuff like that, and I'm just a shoot shade. I can't even say it.
Straight shooter.
There we go.
There you go.
I am, but I'm blunt. Okay, I like to tell people how it is. All right. So if you're brainwashing them, you're implanting your business into their brain where they cannot forget about your business. That is real, true marketing right there. If you can do that successfully, and then, you know, they're like, I don't even know how I came across you. And then they engage with you. And I hope your salesperson knows how to build a relationship, because that's what I did on this phone call. All I did was build a relationship with this person. I asked him a few questions about his business, and I was like, you know, what is it that you're struggling with? You know, just simple. And people are like, well, that's a sales job. It is absolutely a sales job. But I also, he's selling me, believe it or not, is one mistake that business owners make is that they want to acquire whatever customer they can get. And so we've got to stop. We pulled away from that a lot, actually, in the past few months. And we're saying, are you a good fit for us? Because if you grow, we grow. So if it doesn't make sense for our company to be partners with you, then we're not going to be partners with you, because at the end of the day, it just doesn't make sense for our business. We can build you a site. That's fine. But to be partners in marketing, it just doesn't make sense, right? So we engaged with him. He engaged with our website. That's the portion of the phase. We attracted him through our marketing. He engaged through our website, and he used one of the free tools and resources that we provide on our site. Okay? And let me give you some advice out there for those who are trying to figure out why you don't have leads coming into your business. Are you providing some sort of resource or tools? You have to exchange value for value, okay? Nowadays, there's a lot of scams out there. I mean, wouldn't you agree, Rolando? There's a lot of scams.
Yeah, I feel like every other day I have like a random sketchy call, and like whenever I answer, they're like, hey, you want to like buy something? And it's like, no, like I can tell this is a scam, you know?
It's true, though, you know, and people are, you know, that's why telemarketing is, I wouldn't say dead completely, but it is kind of like the bottom of the pit for some of the businesses out there when they're thinking about their marketing. But it's still important. But how do we turn telemarketing from cold calling to warm calling? You know, how do we go about that? So you have to find a way to trade value for value, and then get the customer or prospect. I'm sorry, they're not customers yet. They're prospects. They're engaging with your business. And then you're going to have to get them to convert. You convert the prospect into a customer, okay? And once they convert into a customer, then you have to delight them. You have to excite them. You have to get them motivated and happy. Honestly, I'm going to change this delight to make the customer happy. Just make the customer happy. It's gonna be as simple as that. I'm going to draw my own flywheel. I'm going to have Rolando. He's a designer. I'm going to have him design me a flywheel.
Let's do it, man.
I'm going to write a book on this too. So we make the customer happy. If you do your job and the customer is satisfied, satisfaction is another good word I could say.
Yeah, I like that word.
Satisfaction. I'm going to change that. I'm going to take it to notes. And satisfaction if you do your job to satisfy the customer, guess what they're going to do?
What's that?
They're going to promote your business. You get a free salesperson. Isn't that great?
Yeah, totally great.
No commission, no nothing, just straight referral.
There you go.
We go to a lot of networking groups, and they live and breathe off of referrals. You know why? Because it's so easy. It's the easiest to sell. Hey, my friend said you did his website, and I'd like to talk to you about my website. I saw his website, and it looks really, really good, so I want to go ahead and get my website as well. Boom, done. Within 10 minutes, the sale is over. The sale is over. That's why it's so important for us to make sure that the customer is so happy, because we want that cycle to continuously go. If we don't do that, it doesn't make sense. And that happens too. Believe it or not, Rolando isn't just our podcast tech. He's one of our UI UX designers, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about what you're designing.
So right now I'm making a white label marketing platform, just so we can kind of get our services out there, and we can get other partners signed up with that as well.
So we already have partners, right? But what the thing is, though, what you're designing is something to make the partners happy, right?
Oh yeah,
and also make because we have affiliate partners that refer us business and stuff like that. Everybody needs marketing or knows somebody, so we're finding ways to provide, marketing dollars and not marketing dollars, but finding a way to get people paid, to be honest with you, making some little extra money. So if you are an IT company or some sort of business consultant, we're building something really, really cool coming soon. I'm not going to get into too much detail because it's coming out soon, but I don't want to get into too much detail. But it's pretty awesome.
I'm not gonna lie. I know I'm kind of biased because I'm leading the project, but it's pretty cool.
So, it's some exciting stuff, and it has a lot of potential, right?
Yeah.
But the thing, I think about sorry guys, Rolando's getting used to the camera moving. But the thing about the potential is that it doesn't mean anything, honestly, until we provide it to action. So if you think about potential, let's talk about potential. This is a good topic.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about potential. So potential, when you're attracting and engaging and then converting, you're in the potential phase of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Potentially getting a customer to be satisfied. Potentially growing your business. That's potential. Even when you convert a customer, it's potential. It means nothing until the customer's happy. Because here's what. You could sell $1 million and then the next year have zero. Why? Because you potentially made the customer happy, but you didn't. When you make the customer happy and they start promoting your business and the cycle continues, that is where it doesn't become static. It becomes a growing concept of your business, right? So let's talk about some real world experience of how I've seen this kind of grow. Okay, let's talk about the entertainment. All right. Have you ever been to a Cowboys game?
I've actually never been to a Cowboys game.
Well, let me tell you about a Cowboys game, because actually, believe it or not, a little fun fact about Brian is I was a drummer for the Dallas Cowboys for a while. Okay. You're like, there's like drum line? Yeah, there was a drum line. And it was really cool. It was really cool. Actually, it's everybody's 19-year-old's dream. I was a 19-year-old. And, being with the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and dancers as a 19-year-old, that's some pretty amazing stuff. Getting to go to, like, the banquets and stuff and seeing the athletes and the famous athletes, getting to be a part of the concerts. But here's some of the job titles. By the way, we got, props to the dancers, props to the cheerleaders, props to the drum line. When you go there, make sure they feel good. And I'll tell you why, because they're not fully on employees. They're contractors. They only get paid very little money, but it's just like a hobby for them, right? And they don't mind it either because it's fun. So, and kudos to, Jerry Jones, because at the end, you get people to pay a minimum for like games, and they get to be a part of this brand. It's you're saving money, you're profiting. It's some good money, right? But if you think about the experience of the Cowboys game, it has nothing. Okay, let's just say the Cowboys this year doing great. But when was the last time we won a Super Bowl?
Dude, like what, like 95?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Yeah, when I was born.
Yeah, I know, me too, yeah.
So, and I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, but I was born when they won a Super Bowl. I haven't even seen them win a Super Bowl ever since my birth. So I don't know if that's bad luck or bad juju or something, but, you know. But I was a Dallas Cowboys drummer. And what I realized when I was there is that it wasn't the game or the team that sold. I mean, it partially was. Everybody's a fan. You know, everybody's a fan of, at the time, Tony Romo and Des Bryant, right? Now it's now it's Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, right? And CD Lamb. So these big names. But at the time, you know, what I realized was how smart the branding was. It had everything to do with branding. So as a Dallas Cowboys drummer, we were in charge of the pre, mid, and post game. So the minute that people were coming into the game, you had the drum line performing, right? And then everybody's like, whoa, drinking beer, drinking alcohol, coming into the game, into the gates. Then the dancers dancing, then the DJs, and there's stations on each entrance. By the way, if you ever go, you know, you should probably go to kind of see this. But if you think about the strategy that the Cowboys do, so they have entertainment on both entrances. The minute you come in, it's like, boom, get excited. And it's like, whoa, I already bought my ticket. I'm already excited about the game, but I don't care if they lose. Woo, beer, alcohol, food, let's go. Right? So they come in, they're all excited. Then in the middle of the game, and then when they're leaving as well. So that's how they get the customers to come to the games. But then how they've developed partners. This is crazy. So, you know, when I was a drummer, we would get contracted to go perform. And sometimes it was donated by the Dallas Cowboys, and sometimes it wasn't. So the donated projects, we would go out into like the Scottish Rite Children's Hospital. We would go out to a different type of nonprofit. Anything that was doing some sort of good to the community, we would be out there drumming. At the same time, if somebody wanted us to be a part of like some sort of business corporation expo, we would be out there at the same time as well. So every corner you went, you had some sort of player out there. You had some sort of drummers or dancers. And our job was to engage with the community. You don't think that turns into conversions?
Oh, yeah, for sure it did.
So you don't think that also turned into when they converted into coming to the game, and then they got excited when they saw us again and we're drumming and they're like, oh my God, I know those drummers. They were, you know, let's go to the game. And then so they get excited. Now, they probably don't get excited or satisfied if the Cowboys lose, but that's okay. because they're going to come back anyways.
Because they're brainwashed.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Boom. That's the magic word of the day. Brainwash your customers.
There you go.
But yeah, so if you notice the cycle. Now, if they're winning, guess what's going to happen? They're going to go to the games even more. It's going to be even more packed. Oh my God, they're doing so well. Prices go up. The value goes up, right? And we talked about building value of your business. So if you build value towards the customer, the value of your business goes up. That's just how it works. You know, you talk about when a business comes in and it's marked for its worth is $10,000 and it comes out to be $3.1 million. It's because they've mastered this flywheel of, you know, attract, engage, convert, delight, or make the customer happy. I'm just still figuring it out, right? Happy customer. It's like happy customer, happy life. Like a happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, there you go.
So, and then they start promoting. If you master this phase, your business is going to thrive. And so that was, you know, what makes a business thrive? It's those who are consistent, those who are consistently making their customers happy. And that's a big deal too, because a lot of businesses, they get into this trap, sell, and sometimes they promise things that they can't deliver. And that's when a customer says, I'm done. If they start promising things that they can't deliver, they're done, and then you've lost a faithful customer. right? So, that's kind of like the big topic of today. What'd you think, Rolando?
Yeah, dude. I mean, some really good advice, some really good, just helpful tips.
So if you haven't already, this is what I would advise everybody on this podcast to do. Visit us at adventtrinity.com. We got some free tools and resources. But I want to say thank you to Rolando for being our guest and our tech today. I'll give him applause because this is his first time, his first rodeo. And you did pretty well, man. You did pretty good this time.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that.
So we would also like to say thank you to our sponsors, Nuvodesk, Co-working, and Southwest Restaurant Equipment. Once again, visit nuvodesk.com if you're interested in this podcast room or any meeting rooms or conference rooms. Southwest Restaurant Equipment if you're interested in seeing any restaurant equipment. Our next topic when we come back I think in about 2 weeks, is we're going to be talking about search engine optimization. I will have a guest with me. We're going to talk about different things about content writing and some of the Shazam of
Some sauce
of what it needs to take to be on top of Google. So we're going to talk about search engine optimization here in the next episode of the ATMA podcast. My name is Brian, and once again, I want to say thank you to everyone. We will see you next time.